we're bringing on our next guest, and I believe this is him. It said an iPhone, so assuming that it is the guest. You never know if they don't have their names on their whatever their messaging or whatever. That is him. So, as you all know, there are a lot of people on Instagram and TikTok, different platforms who are talking about books, and they have a major following of people hearing about books that they like and their opinions about books. So I just happened to be watching, scrolling, and I saw, is it pronounced Edric or Edric?
Edric.
Edric, okay. Edric, Edric reads it. Is that what Edric reads?
Yeah, Edric read it.
Edric read it. Okay. And you were talking about the books that you had read, and you had a lot, I forgot how many followers, but it was thousands. And so I said, you know what? We need to start having some of these people on the show that are influencers and digital creators, content creators that are talking about books that wouldn't necessarily be known to the general public of readers. And so, but even though they're making waves because they have lots of followers. So, welcome to the show,
Thank you.
Edric.
Thank you for
Right? I
having
said
me.
Edric, right?
Yeah.
Edric. Okay, Cedric. I have to think of Cedric, and then that'll put me on the path to the correct pronunciation. So anyway, because I don't like to mess up people's names. Um, as someone who has a difficult name to pronounce, not Gwen, but my whole name, I really respect people's names. So, tell us how you got into what made you create your page and talk about what you read. What like led you to do that?
So I've always loved reading. Um, I went through a lot of like different stages in my life where like I read a lot of nonfiction, and things like that. But about 2 to 3 years ago, I challenged myself to read more fiction, and I really fell in love with fiction. And really, I was going through a life change. I was selling a home and going through a divorce, and was just like, hey, like, let me try something new and just kind of like try to find a community of people to like talk about these books that I'm enjoying with, and started posting online about it, and it just kind of grew from there. But I enjoy reading romance, sci-fi, fantasy, thrillers. So pretty much everything except for horror. I'm a scaredy cat, so I don't read horror. But other than
Okay.
that, yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing this in terms of letting people know what you're reading and I guess getting the feedback on what you posted?
So just under a year. I started the end of January last year posting in
Okay.
general.
Okay.
Like prior to that, like I knew about like book talk a little bit, but I had never posted or anything like that. And honestly, I was kind of intimidated. Like I just kind of felt like I'm just starting to get into this fiction space. Like, why would people care what I think of it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it just kind of grew into something more so like less about like people caring what I have to say, but more so just like experiencing the books together.
Okay. So, do you actually talk about it and get feedback? Is it an interactive presentation that you do?
Yeah, so like I do two primary things. So basically, I think what kind of helped my page grow and what I tend to do is I'm not a very fast reader. So what I do is I do reaction videos to different chapters throughout the book, like as I'm reading it,
Oh,
so that
okay.
I'm not spoiling it, but it kind of like gives people a sense of like he likes this, so maybe I would like to read it. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I get to the end of the book, I do the actual like book review where I talk about like what I enjoyed about it, and I try to do that as spoiler free as well. And as far as that, yeah, like I just do the review and then just kind of discuss amongst um the comments and things like that with what people liked, what people didn't like, and things like that. Yeah.
So how are you choosing your books?
Honestly, it started off with I started off with A Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. um, on Book Talk. And then people just started recommending different books from different genres and things like that. So I started trying different genres, trying different authors, and then I started to find things that I liked and just started to lean more into those. And just kind of fine tuning that taste of like what it is that I personally like to read. Um, so now it's gotten to the point where like I know certain authors, I know I'm gonna like them, like S.A. Cosby or Kennedy Ryan or Tia Williams and Natasha Bishop and authors like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I try newer authors, it's more so just based on the genre and that's pretty much where I get it from. But most of it is from people that are on Book Talk that have seen my videos that are recommending to me, hey, I think you would like this book.
Okay, so are you reading full time, or do you have you been able to monetize what you're doing?
So no, I don't do it full time. I still I work my 9 to 5 and then I read for leisure. I have a book club that we read together as well. Excuse me. I've been able to monetize some things, like like you'll do like advertisements and things like that. Like I've worked with Kindle Unlimited and bookshop.org and a couple of places like that. Um and some publishers and things like that. But yeah.
So I think the video that I saw, I think I watched a couple of them, but it's just the whole thing intrigued me. Just you talking about your books and books you had read and how many people were watching and commenting. That's what that's what got my attention. And I
Yeah.
think you were talking about romances at the time,
Yeah.
which which you normally don't think of men reading romance books.
Yeah. I
So,
think I think that's been like the one of my favorite things. So like before, I've always been into like reading, but when I went to school for media studies, and I was into like film and things like that. And one of my favorite film genres was like rom coms and things like that. So I think that naturally just kind of like transitioned into books as well. But like you said, I think kind of what made it stand out was the fact that there's not very many men in the space, especially that are reading romance.
mhm.
Um, but I think it's cool too because I see a lot more men reading romance and seeing that it's not just like cheesy, like it's not just like lovey-dovey romance. It can be like you can learn a lot from it as well as be entertained by it as well.
So, kind of like think like a man when the book came out. You know, act like a lady. Think like it's Steve Harvey's book,
Yeah,
which ended up being the movie and all of that, where
Act
he
like
was
a lady,
giving
think like a man.
act like a lady. And actually, that book has some good advice. I read it because I wanted to see what he had to say and to see if it was a comedy. What I was really reading it for was to see if it was just a humorous book. You know, Steve Harvey he's just such a natural comic.
yeah.
Um, or if it was actually serious advice, and it was actually serious advice that was pretty good advice.
Yeah, see, for that, I've only seen the movie. I definitely want to read the book though, for sure.
The
You
book,
know,
well, it was more geared toward women. The
Okay.
book was
yeah, a
really
lot
to me.
of men read the book because they were mad at the book. So a lot of men read a
They
lot
thought
of
he was giving
men read
away secrets.
the book
Right.
out of anger, right? Giving away the secrets.
Well, it wasn't really secrets. It's more observations. And if you, as a female, you can see most of it if you're really paying attention.
Mhm.
But but he had some additional things that I had to give myself thought. he could be right about that, but it was really interesting read, and it led to the movie and it led to other things. He's a hardworking man. He's just doing.
Yeah.
I love him on Family Feud. To me, Family Feud wouldn't even be Family Feud without Steve Harvey. The other
No, I
host,
feel that.
it just wasn't. Because he makes every episode just a comedy show. But anyway, okay, I have another question about you with your podcast. Have you had any females? And you can answer this in the way that you feel comfortable answering. But have you had any females proposition you?
So no, I would say like I've gotten a couple compliments and things like that. But for the most part, I feel like it's very just like respectful. I think that I feel like with certain things at the very beginning of when I started posting, um, I could sense that people were a little bit skeptical. And
Okay.
I think that like when it starts off, I think that it's natural, like you said, like this space is overwhelmingly it's women, it's dominated by women,
Mhm.
and I think that it's natural that the women in that space would be skeptical of a man coming into that space and trying to see, is he here for books or is he here to bait women, um so I think that at the very beginning it was more so like that. Um, but now I think it's just kind of like grown into a thing like, okay, like this is what he's here for. I've gotten a couple compliments like here and there, but other than that, it's really just been like a hey, what are you interested in as far as like reading?
Wait.
And I've been able to have a lot of like good conversations with people. Um, and that's been really like the most fun part of it, is just like getting to meet so many people and hear different perspectives and be able to talk to so many different women about their perspectives on books, be able to discuss how I felt about it as a man reading the same books as them.
Now, do you get because there are a lot of newer authors or maybe lesser known authors because and I've been to your Instagram and TikTok, and there are, the Kennedy Ryans, the S.A. Cosby's, like you mentioned earlier, some of the more well-known authors. So
Mhm.
then you'll have maybe some first-time authors or newer authors who like, I would love to be able to get on this platform. This would help me out, but they may be intimidated. Like, well, I don't know if these book talkers are reading a newer book because I never see them promoting a newer author. So how
Yeah,
do I get on that person's radar?
yeah. Um, so I like, all right, so personally, like I know a lot of like book talk creators that do like highlight a lot of indie authors,
Mhm.
and like a lot of up and coming authors. I do my best to highlight indie authors and up and coming authors. I think the best way, honestly, is to just email me. I think a lot of times people send, because we're on social media, they send like a message on social media,
Mhm.
um, which is fine. It's just it's harder to find the messages sometimes, because if a lot of people are messaging, then it gets kind of lost.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you that, and I don't have as many. I'm like right behind you, but
yeah,
sometimes people will message me, and I won't see that message until months later.
yeah, so it's like some of them,
Yes.
like it can get overwhelming, but like I think that for the most part, like if people email me, I do my best to respond and just let people know, like I think I don't I want any author to feel comfortable reaching out and just saying like, hey, like can I read your book? Or well, can you read my book? Um, Other than that, what I read is just based on how I feel at that moment. Like if I'm in the mode, if I'm in the mood for romance, then I want to read romance. If I don't feel like reading that, and like if you reach out with a romance book, but I'm not in the mood to read a romance book, then I'll put that book on my TBR, because eventually I'll want to come back to romance.
Mhm.
Um, but I might not be in the mood to read that right then, you know? But definitely, I feel like one of the most important um, aspects of creating a page, like as it began to grow, I definitely wanted it to be a platform where indie authors and authors just in general could leverage those numbers and say, well, look, I might not have a major publisher behind me, but it's kind of like a case study where they can say this video with my book got this amount of views, this type of interaction, so that they can leverage that to move forward in their career.
Right, right, right.
So, you mentioned a book club that you're in.
Yeah.
Is it an all male book club, or is it a theme based book club? What do you all read in the book club?
So it's my book club. It's called the E-Readers. We run it through Discord, so it's digitally. And right now, we have like 30 or 40 people that are in there. Um, and there are some guys, mostly women, but we just transitioned to basically like I'll pick a book. So right now we're reading The Alchemist to start off the year, and then each month we do a guided discussion basically on the book that we're reading, and then I also do like a kind of like once a month we do like a raffle, so somebody wins a free book. And then we just kind of like we have like a daily check-in that we do via Discord. So it's been nice. It's been nice. Yeah. But it's not just for women or just for men. It's just anybody that loves to read. And I think this year I've just been wanting to make sure that the books that we choose, I want people to feel like they understand more of me and understand more of why I choose certain books for us to read.
Okay, so you pick the books?
Now, yeah, last year we did voting, like we would vote, but it became very taxing. And then this year we kind of transitioned into like, okay, like I'm gonna choose the book so that I can also do better about guiding the conversation when we have the discussions and things like that.
Okay,
Okay.
so it wasn't
Well,
because they were choosing whack books and you just got tired of those books.
Oh no, like it was just like it became a lot because it was like, you know, we would be reading a book, but it was like imagine you have 40 people in a room and you're saying, hey, like we need to vote on a book,
Yeah.
come to a consensus while you're also reading another book. Let's make sure everybody has that book. It just became logistically it was a lot. um and even the people in the book club said like, hey, I think that we like this a little bit better, to where it's just like, okay, here, this is what we're gonna read. And we also have channels in the Discord that are set up to where, like, let's say you don't want to read the book of the month, you can do a buddy read with somebody in those channels and still like be part of the book club. So, but
okay.
yeah.
I have to get
Um,
Discord.
yeah, I was gonna
I
ask about that's what I was gonna
have
ask about.
never used Discord.
How is this is spelled Discord? Is that
Yeah, CORD, yeah, Discord. Um,
.com or .net or
It's an app. They
oh, it's
have
an
it
app.
online. They have
It's
it
an
online as
app.
well.
Okay. Okay.
But I think that it would work great for y'all's platform. And it's one of those where you can create a community and you can create channels where like maybe you have a channel that's set up for authors, a channel that's set up for beta readers and things like that, and they can go into those channels and find people, find their audience.
Hmm.
um but it's been nice. It's been very nice, and it can be free. You can set it up to be free or paid. It really just depends on how you want to set it up.
Hmm,
Hmm. That's
interesting.
my first time hearing about it. And it's so many creative things happening. And
It's a
even though
lot.
we've been doing this for 5 years, 5.5 now,
Congrats.
it's always and we've had over 800 guests, and we're now
Mhm.
like I think we're right at 830 somewhere in there. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking we'll be to 900 by the end of the year. So, but we've talked to a lot of people.
yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, different people. These are 800 different people. So, but I really like the idea of people creating their own platforms around books where it really helps sell books for one.
Yeah.
Um, and it helps authors get a real foundation
Hmm.
of readers that they can build from.
Yeah, definitely. And I think
Discord. I just have never used it, but I think you've given me an idea. I'm going to look into it because it would be a great service to a lot of the authors I help to support.
yeah.
I like the idea of what you said of like maybe having different rooms for people to go into um,
Yep.
for beta readers, or if you're looking for a new book. I like where you're going with this. I'm gonna look into this.
Yeah, and if
Yeah,
you have any questions, feel free to like reach out to me. I can send you an invite to my Discord so that you can see kind of like how it was like set up and you can go from there. But like it's it's been very helpful, and I think one of the beautiful things about the book space is that it's intrinsically you kind of have to step away from social media to read the book. Um, but I think that part of it is that people love the community. And I
Yeah,
think that having something like a Discord enables people to feel like they're part of a community, even if they can't physically be in the same space.
it makes
mhm,
sense.
it does. People are really doing some creative things, and it's really great helping. People were saying that the books are dead or book reading is dead and nobody's doing it. But it always perseveres
Yeah.
because it's a I've always had the hobby of reading since I was 3 or 4 years old, but um it's something you can do that doesn't require other people to be involved necessarily, but it's very entertaining. You can really get lost in a book,
Yeah.
and that's what I really like about
Yeah.
reading. Now, are you considering doing any writing yourself, or are you just strictly a reader?
No, I'm just reading. Like if I were to ever write something, I think that I would be interested in writing a romance. Like I would love to write a romance that highlights what like men are like when they're like in love. But like do I have like any plan to actually write it? No. Like like I'd be more than willing, like I would love for an author to just be like, hey, like to give somebody an idea and be like, you write it, I'll just enjoy reading it. Like I'm okay with that.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
So what? Go ahead, Rhonda.
I was just saying, I love that. I mean, you just want to be a reader and enjoy reading. I think sometimes we keep wanting to make our hobbies a gig instead of just keeping it a hobby or something that we love. And
Yeah.
you found something that you love and you just want to keep it something that you love. I love
Yeah.
that.
For
Yeah,
sure. For sure.
but I think your diligence around what you're doing is really great in terms of you really turned it into in a short period of time. Because I was thinking you'd maybe been doing it for 3 or 4 years, but you're saying just a year, you've been able to create. I guess the word of mouth really travels
Yeah.
on
And
those
God,
platforms.
you know what I'm saying? I feel really blessed to have found this community and like for them to embrace me like that, So it's been a blessing for real.
So,
And it's all
what did you say?
it's saying it's all been organic. You these
Yeah,
I mean,
that's.
because you've built your community very quickly.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like they're everything has been organic. I always say there are things that I feel like are kind of you can't plan for, you know. Um I think that initially you're going to get the attention from being a male in a female dominated space. Um, and then after that, I think that there have been a lot of things that have happened where it was like you might have a viral moment where it's like you see a spike. Um, I don't know if you've heard of Trey read that, but he very early on shouted me out on his page, and that led to a big spike. You have readers like Smitty and Brit and her books, who have shouted me out on theirs and things like that, where it's like you can't really account for that. It's just like when it happens, you get like a big influx of people that find your page, you know. Um, but I think that like for me, outside of those things, I think the biggest thing for me was not overthinking it too much. Like I'm a big overthinker, and I just wanted to show up, you know, like I wanted to be like, okay, like how can I show up every day and just post and have fun with it? And I think that over time, being consistent with that, eventually people see you so much that they're just like, let me just follow this guy. Like he keeps showing up. Let me just follow him. You know,
Yeah. And you post every day? Or how often do you post? Do you go
I
twice
try
a
to post every 2 to 3 days now. At the beginning, I was posting every day, um, but that was also because I was posting every day because I was super lonely. So I was just kind of like, I'm gonna post to keep my mind busy. Now I've slowed down to a more sustainable posting schedule. But then I'll go live 3 times a week and things like that. So, but yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy the creation process. Um, but I think that a big part of it is like you said, prior to this, like when I was younger, I did music and I loved creating music. But when it became too much of a business, it took that joy from
Yeah.
it, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that the beautiful thing about content creation is you don't have to monetize if you don't want to. You can just create and build the community and things like that. And you can kind of pick and choose when you want to monetize. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that's monetized is built around clickbait. It's
Yeah.
on some of the stuff is not even true, or if it's a distortion of what happened.
Mm.
But it's like when you click it and it's not even what they said it was, it just really it pisses me off. So
No, I understand. I
I don't
understand for
like
sure.
people to trick. I don't like to be tricked into anything.
Yeah.
So that makes me want to unfollow a person if they're constantly, seriously, if
Yeah.
they're constantly trying to just make me click with false information, then I don't want to follow them because I just, not everything you shouldn't do just anything for money. It's
Yeah.
it's
Definitely.
but that's kind of where we are. Um, but
It
I'm
can be.
glad to
Yeah.
see somebody doing something for the passion, for the love of reading, because it really is a love. And I think what I saw of you, you were going live. It was
Yeah.
live videos. And it just came across somehow my news feed somewhere in one of the platforms, and I think I saw it more than once. That's what made me say, you know what? Let's invite him on the show.
No,
So
I appreciate it.
so anyway, let people know, okay, because it's not on the screen,
Okay.
how they can connect with you on the various platforms.
But
Um,
I did put his TikTok and his Instagram in the
in the
chat.
chat. Okay.
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 Cool.
All right.
So yeah,
But
like
still tell people
yeah,
also.
so TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, it's all gonna be Edrick Reddit, and that's EDRICKREADIT.
Hmm.
Um, but
Okay.
yeah, like I have the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Those are the three big ones. I'm slowly but surely getting stuff onto YouTube. YouTube is a little intimidating for me. I'm not gonna lie. But Instagram and TikTok, I'm all caught up there. Uh, but we try to make everything fun. Um, One of my biggest thing is making sure that like I feel like my page is a safe space for people to feel like they can discuss what they like and what they don't like without feeling like they're being attacked. Um, and other than that, like, as long as you're bringing positive vibes, and you're able to reciprocate the energy that we're putting out, I think everybody's welcome.
Okay, well, Edric, thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank
And thank you for promoting books and keeping hope alive in the literary world.
thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me, and thank you for creating a platform like this, because it's important for real. It's essential to the growth and the sustainability of reading as a hobby. So what y'all do is very important.
Well, thank
Oh,
you. And we enjoyed
thank you.
talking with you. And I will see you on the gram. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing. And thank you for what you do to support authors.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, have a good night and happy new year.
All right. Happy New Year. Y'all have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.